What do I say? All right, hello everybody and welcome to the Roast of Gene Meyer! I am thrilled all you guys came out to this tonight. We've got a wonderful dais for you guys. We're going to make Gene cry, we're going to make Ricky cry, and everyone else probably won't cry, I'll be honest. Yeah, it's going to be really fun. We're going to say some things that are going to be really mean. I want you to know we're all okay with it, all right? I just want to say that up front. None of us will be holding any grudges against each other that we don't already have. All right, so thanks very much. I'm going to start introducing the dais now. So we have, oh, by the way, let me just preface this. These are all Police Geese members. We don't have any other friends. All right, so first up, Amos Stillwell. Then we have Carlos Hitler Mencia Rojas. Followed by Jessica Morse. Michael Mirabella. Marina Altschiller. That's the hardest one to pronounce. Ricky Downs the Third. And that's all of us who are here at the moment. And, well, I don't know, just look at these guys. By applause, how many of you guys have ever been to a Police Geese show? By applause, how many of you guys have ever been to a Police Geese after party? Alright, that's going to be a lot more important for this, for me to keep up. Alright, so, oh my god, these guys. We go way back now. This is a comedy troupe that started 2 years ago. Last year, we're running on our second year now. Wow, it's amazing. We formed as a comedy troupe because we were all rejected from other comedy troupes on campus. For good reason, as you'll see. First up, we have Amos Stillwell here. He's by far the dumbest member of the Police Geese. The other day, he actually asked us, when is Cinco de Mayo? That's a thing that happens. Amos, I didn't know you could pay for college on disability checks. Then we have Carlos Rojas. He's Mexican. That's all I gotta say. Look at him. He's wearing plaid and a tuxedo t-shirt. That was the best he could do on a week's notice. Carlos, you look more fit to be outside a Home Depot right now. We've got Jess. Jess, your hair looks kind of like a poodle. A racially ambiguous poodle. And then Mike. It's so cute we let Mike come up here. Mike wants to be a member of Police Geese so bad he made us all t-shirts. So just for tonight, let's humor him and let him do some jokes. And then Marina. Marina, I don't know, did you guys know this? Marina actually started her own a cappella troupe. Woo! Yeah, let's hear for Acquired Taste. Now Marina, I knew a cappella was gay, but you seriously couldn't find a single dick to suck to get on the team. Not just one. I'm sure Jack would have helped you out. Jack Hanley's not here, but if you were, that joke would have been a lot funnier. He's sleeping like a freshman fuck. And then Richard Butt Downs the Third. I don't know if you guys knew this. Ricky's middle initial actually stands for the word butt. This is a fact. His name is Dick Butt Downs the Third. That's his actual. Ricky, I heard Nickelodeon called you the other day. Oh wow, that's great. They realized they're looking for. They realized they were calling a human being and not a cartoon character, right? No one they. All right. All right. You know what? I think it's time we introduce the man of the hour. You guys know why I'm here, right? What's that? All right. So, where do I begin with this guy? All right. You know, I think there's going to be a lot of jokes tonight about Gene Meyer being an alcoholic. I have a feeling that's going to be a trend, and I just want to set the record straight here. Gene is not an alcoholic. He just likes to have a drink every once in a while. to stop from shaking. No, that's not true. Gene drinks so much, his sperm have daddy issues. All right, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Gene Grindcore Meyer! All right, so that's everybody up here. Wow, this is going to be a fun night. You guys ready to get going? All right, so first up, like I said, our most autistic member of Police Geese, ladies and gentlemen, Amos Stillwell.
All right. Yes, I'm Amos Stillwell. I'm very dumb. I'm really stupid. Let's see, who we have here tonight? Let me take a look. Oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. Ricky, there's something I want to talk to you about. I texted you a week ago, and I asked you if you would go to Boloka with me, and you didn't respond. And, well, why was that? I don't know why that was. Look, Ricky, there's something I gotta tell you. I've had a crush on you for a very long time, and to be honest, I think that we should go out. I cried myself to sleep every night. No, never mind. Let me start with the jokes. All right, first up, we've got Will Taylor here. All right, Will Taylor and Mike Mirabella, stand up. I want you guys to stand up. Don't these two people look like two failed attempts to clone the same person? It was like some mad scientist was like, all right, I'm gonna need 2 clones of a shaggy-haired Chad Michael Murray. Bring me the DNA. These guys, they shouldn't even be allowed to be walking amongst men. They'd be more suited in a weird sci-fi movie on a surgical table, crying out for like the sweet release of death. Because they're a genetic mistake. They don't deserve to live. Will Taylor, Mike, you can sit down. I'm gonna get to you. Just sit down. Will, stand up. Will Taylor grew a beard because he wanted to look less like a little boy. Now he looks like a little boy with a beard. This was a failure. It didn't really work out the way he intended it. Now you can sit down. Just do what I tell you, all right? Carlos Rojas, I always promised myself I would never, ever generalize a stereotype people of Mexican descent into, the roles that just society has played out for them. And then I met you. And everything changed. Carlos, 80% of the time I see you, you're eating a burrito. The other 20%, you're pooping. Now this is the mindset I'm going through my head. It's either A, he's eating a burrito because either A, he's Mexican, B, he's Mexican, C, he's Mexican, or D, he's culturally different about his food taste. No, it's because he's Mexican, that's why, Jess Morse. I once had to drive Jess Morse home from a party, Gene Meyer's place, and it was a very long, awkward, silent car ride, and we didn't really say much. And then in the middle of it, she looks up and she says, Amos, I'm terribly sorry, but I have to puke all over your car. No, that's a lie. She didn't puke in my car, but she got out and puked next to a convenience store. And every time I drive by that convenience store, I go, hey, look, there's the place where Jess puked. I'm never going back there. Mike Mirabella, the second failed attempt at cloning Chad Michael Murray. Mike, I got a phone call the other day. It was from an annoying 13-year-old from the year 2003. He said he wanted his taste in music back. Mike's at all our meetings, and he's just like, dude, I love the Dropkick Murphys. I love the Boston Bruins. It's like, Mike, I've been to 8 more Boston Bruins games than you. They suck 80% of the time. Get over it. Also, he was a big fan of Big D at the kids' table. It's a really great name for a band. I do like that one song they did that goes, I'm gay, I like boys. Oh wait, that's all of them. Oh wait a minute, that's the realization. Marina, didn't know you were going to be here until like 2 seconds ago, so I don't have anything for you. Sorry. Ricky Downs is like the human equivalent of a piece of white cheesy toast with extra cheese. You look at that face and you just choke because there's so much cheese, you can't handle it. I've heard through the grapevine that Ricky Downs he's a little lonely sometimes. He's a lonely guy. I'm like, Ricky, you're a man in college who wears a suit 90% of the time, talks only about your internet web series that has 145 views on YouTube, doesn't drink, doesn't go to parties. I don't care who you are. You'd have to be Robert Downey Jr. You'd have to look like Robert Downey Jr. to expect to get laid in those circumstances. You know? And the thing is, it's not his fault. It's just the way he leads his life. You know, Ricky, just get rid of the middleman, okay? It's your 21st birthday. Go out, get a beer, and come home with a banging, hot, 48-year-old Asian prostitute. No more lonely times, just happy. Gene Meyer. Look at that laugh. Also, stop laughing like that. That's not going to do you any good. She won't like that. Gene Meyer recently was nominated for the Emerson Student of Distinction Award. Yeah. He won. I'm sorry. I just don't care. People were upset that when Barack Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize. They don't even know. If any of you don't know Gene Meyer, he's the guy at every Emerson party who's sitting next to the wall, holding a giant bottle of Smirnoff, and looking like his brain is being sucked from his ears. He's like, ugh. It's like, who's that guy over there? I don't know, but he's really, really, really hammered. He should probably go to a doctor. He needs help. I can imagine there'd be an interview with Gene, the Emerson Student of Distinction. It's like, what does the Emerson Student of Distinction do on a normal weekend? It's like, well, I wake up, masturbate with corn oil, then I go into the bathroom, take a shower, masturbate with more corn oil, scream at my TV for 5 hours, and then have sex with a 17-year-old. It's like, that's fascinating. Wow, this is such a great college. It's like, could you continue, please? It's like, and I basically repeat that process until someone expects me to do something with my life. Gene Meyer was, there's a really funny video of him on the internet banging his head against a wall. Get the most hits on YouTube he'll ever get in his entire life. But anyways, I do want to take this moment to say something really serious about Gene. Gene is probably one of my best friends I'll ever have, along with all these people here. And it's been quite a journey getting to know these people and just, you know, getting to come here. I never expected this would happen. So, peace out. Love you all. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Wow. How long did it take you to write all that? It's all up there. All up there in that absolutely insane noggin of yours. Amos is a really weird dude, you guys. He watches Air Bud with his brother on a weekly basis. All right, our next comic coming up, as you have heard, is quite Mexican. He was born and raised in El Paso, Texas, and yet he still has a girlfriend there. That's correct, right? Which is a great arrangement, because you have a girlfriend, and she doesn't have to fuck you every day. Ladies and gentlemen, Carlos Rojas!
What up? Is this on? Yeah, it's on. Look at all these fucks. It is fucking on. Yeah. Sorry, I only fucking slept 4 hours. Give me some leeway. Bunch of fucking cunts. Anyway. First off, I want to talk about how police geese are some of the most racist, vile, vulgar fucks that I've ever come into contact with. Daily, fucking daily, they talk about World War fucking II. Back home, I would go on for weeks, months without fucking hearing anything about Hitler. Every fucking day with these assholes. Right? I don't know if it's obsession or idolization. I was with Gene the other day, and Matt Mariano, who's not fucking here. Right? We're walking. All you need to know about Matt and him, they're both fucking white. Well, I'm walking behind them, and they're talking about history. You guys don't know, Gene and Matt are huge history buffs. Right? They're talking about history. Then they talk about They start talking about World War II because, it's 5 o'clock. Right? And when they're talking about World War II, they start getting more specific. I'm thinking they're going to go Hitler. No, they go to, the Battle of Stalingrad. They started saying, a long list of information that they know, like an encyclopedia worth of fucking facts about the Battle of Stalingrad. Who the fuck knows all that shit? You go to an art school, you fucks! It's like they watched Hitler's commentary on World War II HD. Fuck! They knew too much! And the ovens were over here. This is where we made the Jew cookies. The Jukies. I wrote that in here with a question mark. Jukies? Should I use this? I'm glad I did. Alright, and now the most racist member of the troop, Mike. Why are you acting surprised? Every fucking day, 3 new spick jokes from that motherfucker. I can say spick, I'm 100% brown. As you can see, it's terminal. He makes fun of me like wetbag immigrant this, yet he fucking comes dressed like he's Irish and just jumped off the fucking boat. The fucking stoner Popeye looking fuck. Okay. Again, I'm gonna compare Will and Mike. Please stand up. Alright? Mike and Will, aka fat version of Mike. You both have the same fucking beard. Just because the internet says it's cool, you shouldn't grow your own scroll hair version. Actually, no. Will, get the fuck back up. Alright? Please walk out to the front and show everybody your attire. It's very snazzy, by the way. But look at his white shoes. Look at the blue and look at the white. Doesn't he need just a white cowboy hat and he will sell you car insurance? You look like the blue Power Ranger from the 90s. Inconspicuous. There you go. Alright. Also, you look like an extra for Portlandia. That would make more sense if he was wearing fucking pastel colors like he wears every fucking day. I shouldn't be talking, I wear the same shit every day. But he comes in this all blue shit, and he fucked my whole bit on him. You fucked me, Will. Like every Friday night. Alright. Now moving on to the next person. Jess. There you go. Jess. I actually had nothing on Jess. Not because she's a nice person. I just don't know anything about her. I have no dirt on her, except I know her race. Nobody else knows her race. I hold this over people's heads. And I wouldn't waste it now on this fucking shit. I'm holding on to that nugget till the day I die. Alright? But Jess, I came up with something to roast you about. It came to me in a dream. As I said, I slept 4 hours last night and I had to take an hour power nap. And in the dream, it was actually kind of like this. It was the roast. It was dark. We're on the dais. I'm looking at these guys. And there's only 2 subtle differences. I'm Spider-Man. And Ricky has a clown nose on and a cock shoved up his ass. So not that much different. And as Spider-Man, completely true. As Spider-Man, I'm like, Jess, you're a nice lady. Except for the fact that you're a cunt. In my defense, everybody's a cunt. You're a cunt, 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 I'm a cunt. Everybody's a cunt. But her cuntiness, her cuntessence, if you will, is so pure and compact. And it's secret too. You think you're friends and you're walking with her and she's nice and smiling. And then you look behind you and there's a knife in your scrotum. Just stick it out. I look behind to see my scrotum every day. That was the end of the dream. I was just like Spider-Man, calling you a cunt for 30 minutes straight. And then Jack, if he was fucking here, if you guys know Jack, he's a freshman and the ideal version of one. You made him in a test tube. His eyes are brilliant blue and filled with hope and happiness. And I just wanted to get addicted to cock and heroin at the same time. I just wanted to hate fuck that happiness out of his eyes. I don't wish bad things on him, I just wish him to be miserable. Like everyone else. Right? And he's like that freshman who thinks he's socially conscious because he makes a Facebook post about it. Oh yeah, we fucking get it, Oprah, whatever. Jesus Christ. And Amos. You gangly motherfucker. Amos Stillwell. I am half convinced you're just Jim Carrey in glasses and a shitty wig. I can't believe you're a real person. Like, we talk about Ricky being a cartoon. I can't believe it. Fucker at one meeting, right? He's casting for like the next show we're doing. He's casting. And he's casting for a role, the waiter. And there's like 11 of us. And he goes, no, and then picks me. Fucker went over like 6 white people just, no. Oh, Carlos, he looks like someone who would serve me. And you know what? I don't think he's racist. Actually, I know he's not racist. He's just a dumb fuck. He honestly just like had a sincere thought and it had no ties to racism. He's just a Labrador human, you know? I want to play fetch with him sometime. I mean that in the sweetest way, that you're a dumbass. This I'm gonna enjoy. Ricky Butt Down. The third. Ricky, I was told a story on how we all found out your middle name was Butt. That's not a joke. We swear to fucking Jesus. I'm a Catholic. I'm a shitty Catholic, but I'm a Catholic. His middle name's Butt. The way we were told is that they're shooting a video with Amos and Jess. And Amos just makes a joke, what does the B stand for, Butt? Because he's Amos. Right? And then Ricky goes serious. He goes, actually. It's just B, but it stands for Butt. I was named after my grandfather, the governor of Brooklyn. The most useless position you can fucking be. Brooklyn, not even a city anymore, just like a borough. This fucking family was tied to. And at first I didn't believe it because we all make fun of Amos and lie to him and he believes us. He's a gullible fuck. But then I slowly believed because like, it was just constantly told every day, we were just saying it. And now 80%, I swear to God, 80% of me truly believes his middle name is Butt. That his name is Dick Butt Downs. And that other 20% doesn't want to believe it, not because I think he's lying, because I refuse to believe the fact that on the plane of existence we all exist on, we share that existence with not 1, not 2, but 3 dick butts. Your mere existence proves that God is unkind. Nimi, there's 1 Nelson Mandela, but 3 dick butts walking around and doing shit. Buying groceries, doing normal fucking crap. Nelson Mandela's dead. 1 dick butt is still going, oh, I like it. Jesus. Now, Gene. I'm not gonna grill you that bad, honestly. Although I know you the longest. It's between me and Amos. I met him about 2 years ago, the semester before we formed the troupe. We formed the troupe in the fall, but I knew him in the spring before that. We met in a class called Dimensions of Creativity, which didn't grade you. It was like pass or fail, which is like they graded you on your feelings. Dad, I'm sad today. Well, then you're gonna get a B. It was like bullshit like that. It was a piece of shit class, and his name is Gene Meyer, but he had that wild, crazy curly hair, so I just kept on missing it up with like Gene Wilder. When I first came here, it was really hard to differentiate between white folk. Alright, honestly, it's a true phenomenon. Look it up. Anyways, and Ryan Ross, who's in the audience somewhere, and if you fucking know Ryan Ross, kill him. There's no one who deserves to live less than him. And he goes up to me and he goes, hey, guess what? What? Gene's 22. And you know, as a new freshman, we're like just trying to find ways to get booze more easily for ourselves. It's like, Gene's 22. we should get him to buy booze. And I'm like, Ryan, we know nothing about this man. Nothing. I can't just go up to a human being and say, buy beer for me, please. So I started becoming his friend. I started talking with him. Because I felt so bad. And honestly, he was funny. He made me laugh. I made him laugh a couple times. And 2 weeks later, Ryan like, so? Is he gonna buy his food? Like, I've only known him for 2 weeks. That's waiting a little bit longer, but it was towards the end of the semester. And Ryan hopscotched me and just went, hey, Gene, can you buy me booze? He knew nothing of him. He didn't talk to him. I knew him more. And Gene was like, yeah, sure. Because that's how Gene made friends in Emerson. Half this troop knows Gene because Gene bought him booze. He was their, like, alcohol mule first, friend second. But he's the nicest guy ever. He obliged, and you know, we partied with him. You know, that was the trade-off. You know, he bought us booze, we took him to parties. And the semester ends, the summer goes on, and I'm thinking, okay, never gonna see this fuck again. Right? Because, you know, other friends are gonna grow up. I'm gonna get booze from friends, not Gene. And then he messages me about like a troop, right? I don't know why. Like maybe because I made him chuckle a little bit more, or I'm half convinced, by the way, that the affirmative action police just like knocked on his door and just looked at the list of the people on the troop. Says, yeah, you just need one color. That's all you need. One colored man should just make this all smooth. Oh, you went all quiet. It's okay. Racism is funny. And Hitler did nothing wrong. Right? And I'm like, sure. And he schedules the meetings every fucking week at 3 o'clock when I have fucking class. And I ask him, hey, can you change the meetings? Like another day, like just have a supplement meeting. And he says, yeah, Carlos, I'll do that for you because you're an important part of the troop. For the next 2 months, he still scheduled the fucking meetings at 3 o'clock. I missed every single one of them. But harping on my side, I fucking found a way to squirrel into the first show. And my first role that he gave me was on Art Talk with Art Talkerson, which is basically an old member of ours, Lee, who is still here to be like, he's Art Talkerson. And Gene plays a hillbilly who like just does some art. Right? And I'm holding the art. My name was Paco. My first fucking role as the police geese, I was a fucking easel. You understand? I was an inanimate object. And he keeps on saying, yeah, and even then you fucked up the role because I dropped the posters at one point. But fuck him. It was torso-sized posters, and if it's the size of my torso, it's a little bit bigger than usual. And they were glossy, so I got the fucking slipping on my hands. I got 5 paper cuts, you dick. But we moved on. I've been in this troop since the beginning, and since then, I have Gene. I'll count Gene as one of my best friends. After 2 years, 2 years later, I was sitting next to him in the library as he's sitting here writing jokes for this roast and laughing at his own fucking jokes, a narcissistic dick. And in those 2 years, we had plenty of stories. A lot of them exaggerated on my part. Some that don't need any exaggeration. Like the time that you got drunk and went home, forgot your keys, and tore down the door. This Captain America looking fuck tore down his door. Or how about in that time this year, you hooked up with not one, but 2 underage girls. One of which is on the dais. Yeah, we all know who we're talking about. Will. But I also seen some good stories from him. Like, he gets angry, but he's a good guy. Like, deep down. Yeah, like he hate messaged some bitch. Right? She deserted because she was an asshole. I'm allowed to say bitch, fuck you. She was some asshole, some bitch. Right? And he hates messaged her. He immediately regrets it. He like turns to me, he's like, I fucking hate what I just did. And he got drunk that day, because he gets drunk every day. And I walk him to the C-store in like a fucking P-roll lobby. Right? Because I had to fucking I have to babysit him when he's Gene drunk or he's gonna wander the streets and die on some tombstone. You know?
So I took her there, and then there she was. She was working the little register thing, and just immediately started apologizing. Like, he could have continued holding on to that hate, but he knew, like, what he did was wrong, and apologized. You know? Or how about 2 nights ago, I did stand-up to complete silence. No one was laughing, except for one person in the back. It was Gene. Not because he's into, like, bad jokes, but it was more like, just a nice guy, sincere, like a dad, almost. And just like his dad, I fucked him. That was nice. I just want to say, Gene, you're a fucking moron. You're a dumbass. You do a lot of stupid things. But you're the only person I can say this, out of all these fucks and out of all these fucks, that didn't see me as some ignorant-ass Texan, as some dumb Mexican or fat fuck. I mean, you make jokes about it. But you're a nice guy, man. Gonna miss you.
I'm gonna get up, you fuck.
Wow. It's getting real sentimental in here. Carlos, I didn't expect that from you. I thought you were really tired. It must be hard to get a good night's sleep in the back of a truck. I think it's funny that we make fun of Carlos for being Mexican, but he is by far the most offensive member of this group. And you will not hear any more jokes fucked up than that tonight. Although maybe. So this next comic is one of 2 underage girls that Gene hooked up with this year. A racially ambiguous underage girl. Ladies and gentlemen, Jess Morse!
He's 18 now, Jess.
It's okay.
I grew up. Carlos, that took so long. I didn't realize that your bit was going to be that long. It took long enough for 4 of your relatives to die of cholesterol. Jeez. Okay. I guess I'll go with Will first. Will, your general wardrobe and obsession with puns makes it clear that you're only trying to attract 40-year-old women and girls with fiery edible complexes. That being said, you have my number. Oh, Will, Bill Cosby called, the sweater is fucking hideous. This is a legitimate sweater that this man wears on a regular basis. Not to roast myself, but Will, having personally experienced your kissing abilities, I now understand why Marina would rather just suck your dick. Marina, I hope you know that you've hooked up with the Geese more times than the entire rest of the female population combined. And that says both everything and nothing. Amos is dumb, as we heard. The amount of fun you'll have with Amos is inversely related to the number of obscure movie clips you haven't seen, and he will explain to you in detail against your will. Amos, you're the type of guy who would believe someone if they told you the lead singer of the Jackson 5 was Janet. Amos, I'm really tempted to tell you what country my mom is from, because there's a good chance you still won't know what race I am. I have half a page of Carlos jokes. I'll have to cut these down. I really liked Carlos's bit about me, that I'm a cunt. If you go to our next show, you'll find the exact same joke in one of our videos. Carlos says a lot of offensive things, a lot of offensive, racist, misogynistic things, as you might have seen. And it's funny because he gets away with it because he's Mexican. Because none of the white people want to call him out on it. And if I try to, he'll just ask if I'm PMSing. Which he has done. Like on Monday, that happened. Carlos's best quality is his surprisingly hot girlfriend, who Jack Ganley understands understandably mistook for his surprisingly hot sister. Carlos is Mexican, so his two primary means of communication are broken English and excessive Facebook likes. Well, so you know that MTV Match thing? I got you, like, every time, because you wouldn't stop liking everything I posted. Carlos is gifted with the ability to flub a line just enough that the audience thinks the writer just forgot to put a joke in. That's annoying. You're annoying. Other things. Oh, Carlos, I don't know how I feel about you being the only goose who knows my race, because half of me wants to trust you, and the other half is not plagued by white guilt. You're Mexican and should not be trusted. Carlos is one of those people like Gene who gives people like R.H. shit for liking like Pokemon and Harry Potter. But Carlos, are you sure you're not jealous that they can read something where every word isn't in bold? Comic books aren't cool. It's just a bunch of guys in homoerotic costumes just wrestling with each other. If they were children, you'd just be James Johnston. James swagged in a couple minutes ago. That was for you, James. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Michael. Congratulations, Mike. You definitely have more sex than any other member of the police, Geese. That's what you get when you have a girlfriend who's not just a figment of Carlos's imagination. I'm talking about Lucy Deller. Lucy Deller, Jack Ganley's girlfriend. Like, you're probably the most heavily invested in knowing what race I am, and I gotta say, every time you make a guess based on some racial stereotype, I get less concerned about you figuring it out and more concerned about, like, the value of society today. You're really racist. Like, Spick and Span was a bad video. That was a bad idea. You should not be proud of that. You are very racist. Marina's one slut joke, I put that in earlier. Ricky asked us not to make jokes about him being mentally ill, a bigot, or a Republican, which makes me wonder if he's not actually a Republican or if he's just really sensitive about his illness and bigotry. And Ricky, there's no need to be redundant, you could just say Republican. Ricky, I really admire all the work you put into your persona, where you're happy, you're lovable, you love Disney, you're like a cartoon, and I really appreciate the message you send, which is, please, no one ever have sex with me. Ricky reminds me a lot of The Big Bang Theory, not because he's like any of the characters on the show, but because I have this theory that all he needs to start his life is one big bang. That being said, you have my number. Jack's not here, which sucks. I used to compete, me and Jack were the only freshmen in the troupe this year, and I used to compete with him over being like the best freshman until I realized that I just wasn't that awful and could never win. That wasn't my name, sorry. Jack's enthusiasm to wear booty shorts for our shows is matched only by Ricky's enthusiasm to have everyone look at him all the time, always. Glad Matt's not here. I don't have any jokes about him. No, I'll say it anyway. It's not that funny. One of my main hobbies is getting drunk and telling Matt how much I like him, like as a person, because he's cool. But I started to wonder why I didn't do that sober. Then he called Ricky the N-word, and I figured it out. Okay, Gene's the last one. Gene's character is best illustrated by the fact that I wanted to drop out of this roast, but the two of the other female stand-ups either all wanted to suck his dick, or that one who just wants to cut it off. I won't say her name, but, like, the people up here know. Gene, you're angry all the time, but I don't think you really have a right to be mad at anything at Emerson, because you made the active decision to go to school at your own personal hell. You chose a college and a career where liking sports and getting laid is somehow abnormal. And wasn't an end to that joke. Okay, when I nominated Gene for the 2014 Emerson Student Distinction Award, like we all did, I mentioned that he's like a father figure to me, and by that I mean he consistently discredits all of my achievements and wishes I had a penis. Okay, the end. Gene, my first experience with any member of Police Geese was at the first Inside Joke Show in September, where you broke down crying in the middle of a country song, and it was the most terrifying thing I had ever experienced. And if I had known going into auditions that that was you, had I realized it, there's absolutely no way I would be in this troupe, because I would have just walked out. But thanks to the miracle of trauma-induced amnesia, I stayed, and I'm here to stay. You're cool. Bye.
Wow. Those are some great racially ambiguous jokes. Oh, up next. Guys, when I was a freshman, I joined a comedy troupe and grew a beard. 1 year later, this fucker joined a comedy troupe and grew a beard. So let's now humor him as he attempts to tell jokes on stage for the first time. Is that right? All right, put your hands together for Michael Mirabella.
Will's just mad because my beard looks better than his. Now, I'm a pretty easy guy to make fun of. I'm ridiculously charming and incredibly good looking. And my penis just trumps anyone else's in both length and girth in the troupe. Trust me, this is what we do at our Friday meetings. No, but like seriously, I am an asshole. But what everyone says I'm racist, but the thing is, I'm only an asshole to people that I really, really love. So like, Carlos, I'm an asshole to you because you're Mexican, but because you're like the Mexican that like I know and love, and because it's okay. And I, you know, like I don't like make fun of random people for stereotypes, just people that I know well enough where they kind of think it's funny and I'm not sure if they're gonna hit me or not. Yeah, I smoke a lot of weed. That you'll hear that a lot. That's something that happens, and you know, it's I don't do this. Shut up. I'm not a comic, and because I'm not a comic, I'm gonna keep this in Police Geese fashion, really short and simple and to the point. I've got like one line for everybody because I suck at this. David's not here. I wish he was. I have to say this about him because it's so true. Does anyone, by like round of applause or any sort of noise, do any of you know David Carfagno? Okay, so a few of you. So doesn't David just look like the living incarnation of a tech deck dude? Carlos, we've said it before, it's all I could come up with, because frankly it's the only thing I know about you. You're Mexican, and you are so strikingly Mexican that you just seem to be playing a caricature in like a really, really racist 1950s Looney Tune cartoon. And Will, you are so much like a goddamn caricature of a backwoods New Hampshire fuck that you make Carlos look like an individual with a real personality. Alright, Jess, as Will noted, is very racially ambiguous. It's the center of a lot of our sketches. It's something that we joke about a lot. But the funny thing is, Jess really, really prides herself on not being white. And it's like, Jess, first of all, you're half white, so like, come on, half credit. Second of all, like, the amount of times I've seen you white girl wasted in those white girl boots, singing songs from musicals on the T on your way back to Boylston is one too many for you not to be even the slightest bit white. So you can think that but it's, we all know, deep down, we all know. All right, Matt Cranis isn't here, he graduated, we killed him off, but does anybody know Matt Cranis? All right, a few people. I'm gonna say this for the people that know and don't know this story. I was at a party with Matt Cranis last week. Right before we filmed our video special, the day before we filmed it. And I thought he was drunk, but no, he confirmed this for me the next day when he was sober. He looks me dead in the eye. Thank you. With the headphones in and everything. anything, you fucking asshole. No regard for what was going on. Anyway, thanks. This wasn't nerve-wracking enough, asshole. Yeah, so I was at this party, and Matt Crane just looks me dead in the eye, and like I said, I swore to God I thought he was drunk. And he goes, yeah, you know, I'd lick a butthole. You know, like a clean one. Like a nice, clean female butthole. Like, I'm at that point in my life where I think I would do that. And I'm like, dude, you graduated college, like, a semester ago. If you're at that point in your life already, like, your life is really going downhill. Anyway, I had to say that. Matt's not here, but everyone who knows him thinks it's funny, hopefully. Not you, but I'm assuming you would also lick a butthole. We have all mentioned Jack. Jack's not here. Jack reminds me so much of Tom Brady. And now we're in New England, so everyone's thinking like, oh, you must really like this guy. No. That's like exactly what I mean. Jack is like Tom Brady in the sense that like the smallest group of people that nobody except themselves care about, kind of like Jack Angley, much like New England likes Tom Brady, but the rest of the universe can't stand the motherfucker, and he is that small group of people that likes himself, and it's all just his ego. Amos. Oh, Amos. We spent a lot of the Sundays this first semester in the fall watching football at Gene's, and by we I mean everyone but Gene, because Gene doesn't remember any of them. But Amos was there for most of them as Gene's like official, unofficial videographer. And getting to spend that amount of time with Amos is a really, really a special thing. He once asked me, no, I know sports aren't big here, so you guys might forgive him, but he's dumb. And you have to realize that like, as somebody that knows what a sport is, he is dumb. Amos once asked me if baseball teams played every Sunday like football, and if football teams played every single day like baseball teams, and that was just, it was something special. And Amos is also the type of person, when we're at rehearsal, Amos will be like, oh, wouldn't it be a great idea if, and he will go into some like far off like dystopian sci-fi sketch where like a good burger eating like fat fuck will rise and kill us all. Yeah, because James and Amos wrote that shit. And we did it because we're dumb, and David is the only one that's smart enough to be like, Amos, that's dumb. Be like, Amos, that really doesn't make sense. The rest of us are just flabbergasted. We have no idea what to say. And David's the only one who'll be like, you are really, really stupid. We shouldn't do that. And for that, we thank David. Literally. So you guys haven't mentioned Harry yet. Harry he's never on stage. I don't know why. But he's like our video guy who just never gets any love or recognition. So I'm going to talk about Harry for a little bit. If you've lived anywhere in the 617 area code, you know Harry because you've heard him yawn and cough and sneeze. He is the loudest motherfucker that you will ever meet, and I know this after living with him for a year. And Harry, I thought of this right before the roast, when you used the phrase dapper as fuck. You are the living incarnation of a Jewish James Bond.
Yes!
His last name is Brownstein, for those who don't know Harry. Marina. Oh, Marina. So last year, Marina was a bright-eyed freshman who decided to suck the dick of half of comedy troupe that she was also in. So that happened, and it was really just something that I never thought that I would be a part of. And then I was, because I blacked out on the tee, and she followed me back to my room like a poodle. But this year it's totally different. She went to Europe, she changed, and she came back and dyed her hair red, of all things, with a boyfriend in the army. But I'm really, really just kind of convinced she didn't want any of us to come back for seconds, and she made up her boyfriend. Ricky, as we mentioned, we're not allowed to make fun of you for anything that's true about you. Like your bigotry, conservatism, sexism, or any of the other things you practice just as much as Christianity. But So I figured I would also make fun of you for something that is completely made up. For those of you who don't know, Ricky is dating Elsa the Snow Queen. They are Facebook official. You can pull out your smartphone and check it out right now. And on that note, I happened to notice that like all of her friends are also your friends. And like I couldn't help but wonder maybe like you made her up and like might have like made her a Facebook profile. And then I got to wondering, Ricky, like how many of your Facebook friends did you just create? And they're only friends with each other, and it's just like this little network, and they're all writing on your wall like, "Great job with conservative art school, Ricky." And it's like, so that's all I've got for Ricky. Now Gene, as we've heard, Gene is, ironically enough, the student of distinction this year at Emerson College. And in my letter of thing for that when I submitted for Gene, I said that I probably would have transferred schools if it wasn't for Gene, which is entirely true. On the other hand, I wouldn't be addicted to things if it wasn't for Gene. The 3 times in my life that I've ever gotten blackout drunk, Gene was there feeding me alcohol the entire time, and I just started to sense a pattern and not let that happen anymore. And so for those of you who don't know, we got together over spring break and we filmed an acid trip. And we're gonna release it to you guys at some point. But Police Geese as a troupe works because of Gene, and Gene is the only sort of person that can film an acid trip and like end up with enough like material that will make people laugh for any amount of time at all. But I will say, you started chanting a satanic chant at one point, and I thought I was going to die. I've never been more scared in my entire life than tripping on acid and having Gene Meyer chanting a satanic chant from another room. Oh my god. It was really scary, and I tried to keep this short. I went a little longer because you guys are awesome. So Gene, I'm gonna end with this. If you added up the ages of all the women that you have ever slept with, it still wouldn't be 18. But in all honesty, I don't know what we're gonna do with you next year. We're gonna have to hold auditions for people that can yell, and for people that can drink themselves into oblivion, and then manage to kind of function in society. But we're gonna miss you, and we love you, and that's all I got. Thanks.
Wow, that was really good. Proud of you. I found I didn't dig into my card enough earlier. The last week he slept over my house, and I woke up the next morning and I went to go take a shower and he was in the bathroom. And he finished up about 5 minutes later and then left my house. But you guys, I was late for class. This is a true story. I was late for class because it smelled so bad I couldn't take a shower. This is a 100% true story. So I'm all confused now because Matt just showed up. Oh no, the order's still the same. This doesn't affect anything. You're gonna go right before. Yeah. Is that okay with you, Ricky? Or do you want to make sure you go last so people remember you the most? No, because we can have Gene go right now, and then we'll all leave, and then you can just do your thing in here for a couple hours, and everyone can just watch you for about an hour, hour and a half. Okay. Let's just continue as planned. I think that'll get really confusing, but yeah, I mean, if you ever want to do a one-man show in here, I think that would be a great idea. That would really work out. No, it's exactly what I had written down here earlier, because we put Matt at the end because we thought he was going to be late, and he was.
Great story, Will.
Up next!
I'm really excited now.
I know, they love the logistics of planning an order. But listen, when you have, I was going to say how many number of people were up here, then I realized I was stupid and couldn't count. When you have 10 people this stupid up here, you have to figure these things out. All right, up next, Marina Altschiller.
You just touched my back.
It was a complete accident. here. Alright, I was kind of hoping Mike wouldn't be funny. Fuck. So I sucked some penis last year. Let's just start with that one. Right? We all clear? Take a look at them. Make your guesses. It was 3. 3 of them up here. Alright, let's actually start roasting other people that aren't on stage. I wish I had a better comment, but I really don't. Alright. I'm gonna start off with Ricky here. As people have mentioned, Ricky sent us a list of things that we couldn't say, so I'm not gonna say them, because everybody else already did. But anybody who is so concerned that certain things could be brought up is clearly masturbating to a picture of himself every single night. There have been like, oh, Ricky, you're never gonna get laid jokes. Well, it's a good thing you've got your hand because it will never leave you. Now, one of the greatest things about Ricky is exactly how narcissistic he actually is. Some of you may have played the Police Geese 2048 game. I know I haven't left my bed in 6 hours. And when Ricky saw it, he went, Jess, am I even on this? And you just gotta look at him and go, Now, when I say I haven't left my bed in 6 hours, I'm determined to win this. Everything else doesn't matter at this point. But Ricky, if I saw your face, I might just want to lose. To put it in more familiar terms to you, your recent Tinder adventures, I would not have swiped right. Alright, next up, I think I'm just gonna talk about some of my favorite moments with these guys. Now, one of my favorite moments with Amos was actually a couple weeks ago when he was looking at his phone and going, this girl, I don't want to see her anymore. I don't know how to tell her that. Be nice about it. And really, my solution for you is just talk to her, and you'll never have to see her again. Now, I don't know about all the ladies out there, but being able to recite RoboCop backwards and forwards in obscure cartoon voices doesn't really get me going. There's nothing really worse to kill a lady boner than hearing Austin Powers whispered sweetly in your ear. It's horrible. Now, one of the dicks I haven't seen, but I could have, in Police Geese is Carlos. And I'm just going to tell you a story. This is not a joke. So last year, I got white girl wasted and passed out around the toilet. And twice, no recollection, Carlos comes up, I gotta pee, don't look at my dick. I didn't. Haven't seen it. Can't rank it. Oh well. So next up is Jess. And I guess, I don't know if Jess knew this, but when I first heard that there was going to be a new girl in Police Geese, I was fucking pissed. I was so mad. I was really down with the 2 girls, like barely any competition for roles thing. And then I learned that Jess has this really great ability of writing fan fiction about us. And sometimes I get a little worried that these fan fictions are going to go too far. So the other week we were shooting a video, and I think she asked, wait, can I just go topless? Can I be topless for this? At least 20 times, to the point where I thought, no, she really just wants us all to see her topless. I'm pretty sure that one of these is finally just going to end in a giant orgy surrounding her with Jess going, at last! And then Danielle's on the side going, guys, I wanted to be there at a film shoot. Mike's a fun guy. Mike is high, I think all of the time. Like, I'm pretty sure all of the time. When people think of Hempfest, they think of your face. They think of your homeless beard and the bemused look of someone who's genuinely surprised that they could possibly be so high. I mean, you're an RA. What are your floor meetings like? Just pass around the joint, everybody. Let's get real with each other. And you think that somebody who could be so high all the time would be really funny. And then you read his sketches. I think watching Mike attempt to direct a sketch that he wrote will go down as my favorite theatrical moment of all time. No, guys. You just stick to the lines. Just stick to the lines that I wrote, okay? Just stick to the lines. It's okay, honey, they're not funny anyway. Well, I didn't have a lot for you, but I kind of just wanted to give you a little kudos here that your pickup line for me was, you're from New Hampshire, I'm from New Hampshire, and then we made out. So, nice work. And all I got for Matt kind of goes along the same line. It's just, it's a little round of applause for you, sir, because as you heard, Matt's a Nazi, and he actually managed to hook up with a girl based solely on his knowledge of World War II. And I'd like us all to take a moment to applaud that. So now we're getting over to Gene here. And Gene and I have a really special relationship. Probably one, because I'm the one girl in Police Geese he hasn't made out with, and two, I would describe our relationship as pimp to hoe. So, for those of you who don't know, Gene has asked for at least 4 to 5 of my friends' numbers, and this happens on either a monthly, bi-weekly, daily basis. Has gone out with them, has slept with them, but I think my absolute favorite was when he practically asked my permission. I was at the castle last semester, and I get a message from Gene, and I just had to read it. Marina, she's really pretty, and I want to ask her out, but do you think she's going to like me? Tell me I'm pretty, Mom! How the fuck did that work? No, but he got her, and I wish you luck in hooking up with all of my other friends as well. And I just want to close Gene's little thing about a story from last year, where he called us in for a rehearsal in the middle of a snowstorm. And we're sitting there, it's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, no Gene. And we just get a text. Yo, Gene's in my suite. He's too drunk. Alright. So we go upstairs. Gene's sprawled out across 2 of the chairs. Hey guys! Hey! So Gene's just toddling around for the rest of the night, and we get to a game of King's Cup. And every couple of rounds, Gene would stand up. Guys! A, B, C, D, and go through the ASL alphabet. He speaks sign language, ladies, get on it. Alright, so that's about all I have for jokes, but Gene, you really have been a big brother for me, and it's been really great being your friend. I'm gonna miss you a lot next year, and have fun sleeping with all of my friends.
Marina, I'm sorry I accidentally touched your boob. You can accidentally touch mine if you want. I'm glad Marina brought up that story of the time Gene was too drunk, because I forgot about that. And I was there, and being the sweater-wearing grandfather that I am, I took Gene's nose. Like so. And we were playing King's Cup. And it got to be his turn. And he said, stop, everybody stop, I can't do this. Will's got my nose. So, up next, just gonna be honest here. Ricky made a list of things we couldn't make fun of him for. He had these requests, we've been following them. Gene made one request, which was Ricky. No songs, no characters, no costume changes. Ricky has asked me specifically to introduce him as a character. So before that, I just want to say a few words about Dick Butt Downs. In comedy, a straight man is someone who is usually the butt of the joke to make the more eccentric personality look funnier. I would never use the word straight man to describe Ricky Downs. If Police Geese were an ill-fitting suit, Ricky Downs would be the sneakers. So I now present to you, in character, Gene's mom!
So I caused me at your roast. But first I gotta deal with these schnucks. Alright. Sorry, little boy. Carlos! Every single racist, offensive, misogynistic, horrible, evil sense of humor from Police Geese is advocated, written, and always performed by Carlos. He laughs laughs the loudest at spick and span, and he laughs the proudest at spick and span. Carlos, you're proving the white supremacist right with that attitude. Mike, I don't know why you're here. I ask that question at every Police-Key show. He's the Daniel David of the troupe. Will, Amos, I have a letter from Ricky to you. It just says, to Amos, the F word, your name, written in blood. Jess! Another boy? That's true. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, Marina! Oh, Marina, it's good to see you on stage. That's different. I was upset, like, you weren't in that many sketches last show. I think it was, none. Oh, Matt's here too. I guess you like hurting my people? Because Gene's Jewish and Matt's a Nazi. That's that joke.
Mom, you're Polish.
Hey! Oh, well, this entire character is completely ruined. Whoops! And now we get to Ricky Downs. Man, what a character actor. I'll think about the characters. Dick Rick, I meant Date Rick. Just as creepy, if not more. Safari Sam, but I think the great thing about Police-Keys, he has such an outlet to experiment with all those characters. He's played Ricky. Well, he's been in so many great sketches, like Matt was the great Nazi, James Johnson Krim and the Ethiopian tech support. Ricky was in Frozen. One-line sandwiches. You wonder why he has an ego problem. Okay. But now I get to Gene. 38 years ago, I gave birth to Gene. Now, I've heard him crawling out of the womb, but Gene literally did. His muscles were that developed at the time. He was just a little prairie dog hopping out of it. Good stuff. He got stuck. Where was I? Yeah. So, but the thing was, after we cleaned up all the blood after Gene was, born, his face was still red as Lucifer's keister, which coincidentally would be the first song he performed at his first grade recital. I said, how can you think of many Jewish boys, this is why the character's ruined, so many Jewish boys that sound like Harry Connick Jr. And Gene said, Mom, more like Harry Con Dick Jr. I said, Gene, don't make jokes like that. Listen, that's why we're here today. Moving on. But then I was so proud when I heard Gene decided to make a troupe called Police-Keys. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say Police-Keys? I meant the Gene, Will, David, and Amos show. With one cameo by Marina. It's a funny thing. Matt is in 11 sketches in the next show. David's not in the next show, and it's still the Gene, Will, David, and Amos show. Talking about the doo-doo and the feces and the Disney. Don't walk away from cartoons. But of all the Police-Keys sketches, and as well as Gene's stand-up, there's one thing that I have the biggest problem with. Without a doubt, this one infuriates me the most. Gene! I have sex with your father, not you! That's my privilege, not your privilege! I have sex with your dad! That guy was Gerald Ford! You just jumped on him! He fell down and you thought it was your dad! It was President Ford! I'm not Betty Ford! It was Gerald Ford! You sexually assaulted Gerald Ford! And you say it's your dad! And it's not your dad! It was Gerald Ford! Similar like Gerald Ford, though, Gene is a good Jewish boy and became a president himself. And I gotta say, I'm the truth, you Chinook! More Jewish references. You all make fun of that redhead for having the big ego the size of the school. There is no other troop that I would be the troop mom to. That's the character. Anyway, so I'm your troop mother, and believe me, even after you're gone, I'm still gonna be your troop mother. And don't forget that, Gene Meyer. But and I'm just so proud of you because you're the best son, a Polish Catholic who's apparently Jewish, who could ever ask for. And I'm gonna miss you, Jeannie boy. I mean, go back to Brooklyn with your brother and do all that stuff. Just no more drinking. Well, mothers can wish. Anyway, goodbye.
Ricky, every time I watch you do comedy, I cringe so hard I stay constipated for a week. Speaking of troublesome turds, Matt Mariano is here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry that Matt was late. He was detained after he lost his backpack full of confetti last night. But he showed up just in time. Oh, well, they booed me instead of you, so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Mariano.
My name is Matthew Mariano. I just want to apologize for being late. I had some important things to do on the internet, things like that. Listen, I want to just show of hands here. How many of you, I'm going to assume, have heard that I'm a Nazi tonight? Show of hands. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I just want to let you know, I do have a love for the German people, German culture, history, especially a fascination with the German government and the Third Reich. I am not a fascist or Nazi. I'm a Marxist. Just to get that clear. It's not the first mistake you guys have made. Actually, I want to rewind the clocks back a little bit, way back to September. Okay, so police Geese tryouts. I try out. I don't get in. Who gets in? Jack Hanley and James Johnston. That's the first mistake, police Geese. Or, along with me being a Nazi. It's fine. You kind of stole my thunder there, Will, with that joke. It's all good.
Just do it again.
No, it's fine. I'll just get right to it, folks. Amos, my friend, your parents should have hit you more. You don't shut the fuck up, sir. And you just, I feel like someone described it last night, it's like almost like a machine gun. You just keep shooting, and then eventually you'll get a good idea, but 80% of the time, it is idiotic. It is a disgrace to humanity. It is a spit in the face of evolution and everything that we have striven for in this society. You are an idiot sometimes. I hate you. David, I don't know where he is. Is he here?
I'm here.
No, I didn't know David was in police Geese until like 3 weeks after. Like, no kidding. He didn't show up. He just smoked weed. Like everyone always talked about, oh, David, he's smoking weed, and then I just thought he was the true drug dealer. And then eventually he showed up, and I was like, oh, he's the true Bill Murray, and that's cool. Yeah, Ricky, I'm in 9 sketches actually next show. It's just so crazy. I just have so much attention now. It's like, I don't know what to do with it all. Like, I guess I could give some of my lead roles to you. It's cool. You don't, do you want some of them? I can hand them down to you. It's like I'm becoming the new Ricky. Just with all this attention I'm getting. Marina, you never hit on me. I'm new to the troupe. Will, I don't really have anything insulting for you, I suppose. It's more just like, I went to New Hampshire once, and I told you this story. I went to New Hampshire once, and I went into a bar in Meredith, which is like sort of upstate New Hampshire, and during the off season, it was just full of locals. And I walked in, and I thought I saw Will, so I went up, I was like, Will, what's going on? And this guy turns around like, my name's Steve. And I'm like, oh, sorry, Steve. And then I walk over to the bar, and I sit down next to him. I'm like, oh my God, it's Will, how you doing? He's like, my name is Bob. And it's just like, oh, that's Will. And I looked at the bartender comes over, he's like, what are you being? I'm like, Will, you bartend in Meredith, New Hampshire? He's like, no, who the fuck are you? And it's just like, the point of the story is you just look like every fucking person. Like you were just generic. But no, it's not generic. Your sketches. They're so creative. I can't end a compliment with him, so fuck you, and I hope you step on a bucket of Legos. Who else we got? Carlos, nice outfit, dude. Stand up, let's see it. What's this? Jesus Christ. Sit down. You smelly boy. You are smelly boy. That is what Carlos is. Amos, did I already talk about how your parents should have hit you? I'm so Gene, my brother, my dude. I don't really have any insults for Gene. I'm just going to talk about Gene, some stories, just some things that I've just experienced with him. I have seen Gene Meyer yell at women on subway trains. I have seen Gene Meyer yell at men on subway trains. I've seen Gene Meyer yell at kids because they don't like grindcore. Like, just literally, like, I've had to, like, calm him down and, like, be his handler. Like, dude, you're a psych. You are the Charles Manson of police Geese. Like, you literally, make us do things that we don't want to do. And I don't know how I can get out of this anymore. I didn't even want to come tonight. I'm scared for how do I get out of this trip? Like, Jesus Christ. But hey, man, I'll end it on this. Like, I think that the people up here, we're some of the most dedicated people in the scene. And yeah, that might be pretentious, but fuck that, because people like you didn't give up, and you started, this troupe because you didn't get into any other troupe. You still wanted to perform comedy and like fucking yeah and stuff and things. And we are dedicated, and we will strive on with the image of Gene Meyer, and we will conquer the world. I'm not a Nazi. I adore Jewish women. Thank you, Gene Meyer. Thank you guys for showing. Oh, Jess.
You missed me too, Matt.
Matt, you realize you and Carlos are wearing the exact same outfit, right? Oh, I thought the joke was Carlos looks like a Mexican. Okay, you're not racist. I'm the only racist one. That's not even close to being true. I'm just from New Hampshire, so I've never met a Mexican before Carlos. All right, so now it's that very special time of the night. We're gonna turn things over to Gene in a minute, but first, before Harry does that, I just want to say, Gene, I didn't get a chance to talk about you a little bit personally. When I first met Gene, actually, I first met Gene because I saw a flyer for a meeting for a comedy troupe called Weekend Nachos. Police Geese was once called Weekend Nachos, named after a power violence band in DeKalb, Illinois. And I went to that meeting, and I was scared shitless. But then, later that week, I showed up to a party, and I saw Gene Meyer in the corner drinking Bud Light out of his backpack. And I stood next to him, and he said, "You want a beer, man?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm 18. Give me your beer." And then we were drinking, we were talking, and he said, "Listen, man, anytime you want me to buy you alcohol, you just let me know." And from that day forward, me and Gene have been great friends. And no, in all honesty, Gene is probably one of my best friends at this school, and he is the heart and soul of this troupe. And without him, we wouldn't, have had 6, 7 shows under our belts, and be gearing up to be a real comedy troupe at Emerson. And I don't know, it's just you gave me an opportunity to be in a comedy troupe that I wouldn't have had without you, and that means so much to me. I'm so happy that you're my friend. I'd make fun of you more, but I'm gonna let Harry do that with this wonderful multimedia presentation.
Wow, I look great on film. Okay. I knew following myself would be a tough act to follow. Let's start with the soft underbelly of the troupe, Danielle David. Danielle, you are attracted to every man you meet except for those who are attracted to you. Could you please do the world a favor and fuck Harry Brownstein? Last semester, leaving a party, Jess pushed Danielle down a flight of stairs and caused her to fracture her ankle. And I just want to say, Jess, that was the funniest thing you've ever done. Jess, so the big mystery about you is what race you are. And I just want to let you know, it doesn't matter what race you are, because in my eyes, you're just a woman. Jess, you show up for every single rehearsal, writers meeting, and just general meeting, and you're always on time. Loser! What the fuck? Why don't you just do what all the typical freshmen here do? Go here a couple of weeks, develop a superiority complex, and then fall in love with a gay barista named Vincent. Right, Jack? James, are you here? James, you have all the makings of a classic pedophile. You're 20 years old, you're still in the Boy Scouts, and you know way too much about Japanese cartoon porn. Also, you wear that Super Mario hat everywhere you go. You might as well wear a sign around your neck that says, "Please don't fuck me." Will, one of the first things I learned when I first went to college, back in the 80s, was no one gives a fuck about where you're from. So, on behalf of everyone in this room, no one gives a fuck about New Hampshire, okay? Will, you are the Pillsbury Doughboy come to life. And I just want to point out that I spelled Pillsbury Pillsberry. Will, you have this thing, you really like ska music, and let me just say that ska is the Disney of music. It's like listening to Mickey Mouse juggle his balls next to your ear, okay? No one's that happy all the time, right? Will, you also have this sort of like puppy dog mentality where you get really excited! Like for stuff like Police Grease, which is next year they want to get drunk, watch Grease the movie, and then try and reenact it on their own. Terrible idea! None of you do improv. All that would consist of is Ricky and Amos trying to outact each other while Carlos shits his pants in the bathroom. Okay, Marina, so first thing I have is you're Jewish, so boo! Go back to France! Marina, much like me, you started your own a cappella troupe when you couldn't get into any of the other troops. And much like Police Geese, acquired taste sucks. But the difference is, you guys sing songs, we write sketches about incest. I remember one time going to an acquired taste party and walking up to the door, I said, "Carlos, do you think they'll be singing in there?" He said, "No way, Holmes." And as soon as we got in there, let it go! Let it go! Seriously, it was like Harry Potter and Daffy Duck fucked each other in the ass. It was... wait. Oh yeah, Ricky would have came in his pants. That was the end of that joke. And then, oh yeah, so last year you hooked up with half of the troupe. And it's like, good for you, girl, you know, because, you know, what you guys didn't know is we planned this all along. See, it was I wine them, she dines them. So, yeah. Is David here? David Carfagno? Okay. David, you are one of the most naturally funny people I've ever met. And by that, I mean you're a lazy pothead who's not going to do shit with your life. Lee Satterwhite once told me you weren't at one of our rehearsals, because you were sitting at home, shirtless on the couch, smoking pots. And all I said was, there's a straight shooter with upper management all over him. Harry once described David as a thumb with feet. I feel like David wasn't born, he just slithered his way out of a DiGiorno's pizza box onto a bong and a Super Nintendo and somehow gained sentience. Harry Brownstein. Harry, whenever I'm concerned that I'm somehow too Jewish, I just hang out with you for 5 minutes and I feel a lot better. Over spring break, I had the pleasure of watching you run a few blocks toward a restaurant when you left your glove. When you run, it is a crime against nature. It's like George Costanza getting fisted by a ballerina in slow motion. If you had been alive during World War II, you would have survived. Because as soon as you started to run away from the Nazis, they would be too busy laughing to shoot you. Mike, where's Mike? Mike, you more than anyone else embody the spirit of Police Geese. You are loyal, militant, and endlessly enthusiastic, which more than makes up for the fact that you're a terrible actor. Mike, you play a very specific role in this troupe, and that is whenever someone's writing a sketch and they ask themselves, is this too racist? You're there to say no. It's not racist enough. But Mike, you remind me a lot of myself when I was your age, and all I have to say is enjoy it now. Because from here on forward, it all slowly devolves into a nightmare of shoulder injuries, violent masturbation, and watching Teletubbies clips on YouTube at 3 a.m. with enough Adderall in your system to kill an entire human family. Matt, I'm so glad you're here. Fuck you. Matt, I'm gonna take a different approach with this. I'm gonna give you the compliment sandwich, which is where I'm gonna say one thing I like about you, narrate, you can use improvement, and then end it with another compliment. Okay, so. Matt, 1. Since we started hanging out, I've started paying attention more to politics and history, which is a good thing. 2. Your obsession with Hitler borders on the psychotic. 3. I like your hair. I didn't know if you were going to be here or not, so all I have to say is, you're Italian, so boo! Boo, go feed Luke Mahoney carrots. God. You're so talented. Jack's not here, but I'm gonna roast him anyways. Jack, you're a douche. You are easily the most good-looking member of Police Geese, which is like being the least retarded person at the Special Olympics. Jack, your girlfriend is so adorable, it's hard to imagine her plunging her fist into your coiffed sphincter while you complain about your parents not giving you enough attention. Let's face it, Jack, kids like you are the reasons pedophiles exist. Because every time I look at your face, all I can imagine is the peach-flavored Starburst that is your asshole. And by the way, nice shorts, boom, roasted. Carlos, you literally make it hard to not be racist. If you were a food, you would be nachos wrapped in burritos, sprinkled with cocaine and tequila, that was dumped on the side of the road next to a Home Depot that had too many kids and wore dress shirts with only the top button buttoned. Carlos is so Mexican, if you were to cut him, he would bleed beans. Carlos is so Mexican, if you were a Star Wars character, he'd be Han Cholo. Carlos is so Mexican, Taco Bell sues him every time he takes a shit. Wait, I got one more. Carlos, you're so Mexican, your Playmobiles were made of Pueblo mud. You don't remember Playmobiles? It was an 80s thing, whatever. I'm 38. You also have terrible personal hygiene. I remember once saying to you, hey, you seem like the kind of guy who would wear the same pair of pants 2 or 3 days in a row. And you looked me dead in the eye and said, I've been wearing these motherfuckers for a month. You also take about 2.5 hours per average to poop. I know this because one time you were in my bathroom and I walked in and you were halfway through watching Free Willy on YouTube. Something tells me your ass is made of Lunchables and rejected cow udders. All right, let's move on to Amos. Amos, you have to be the single biggest fucking nerd I have ever met in my entire life. You make people who write gay Star Trek fan fiction look normal. Amos, we were at Sweetwater the other night and you started talking about Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, and you described it in the way a man would describe the birth of his first son. I just love those campy 1940s atmosphere with the serial movie. Grow a dick! Jeez, kids are starving in Africa and you're crying because you love Indiana Jones? Fuck! You're also an idiot. Your ADD makes police geese meetings last for 30 minutes longer than they should. I imagine your inner monologue is just George Lucas angrily screaming at the pterodactyl from the land before time, while a porn version of Cool Runnings on VHS plays in the background. Did I mention you're an idiot? You said gems like, what day is Cinco de Mayo? A sitcom is when all the characters are sitting, right? And do black people really exist, or are they just in the movies? He never said that, but I'm sure he could. All I can say is that you're lucky you're 6'2", or else you spend the rest of your life locked in your room, crying, listening to the Pet Shop Boys with a Predator action figure lodged in your urethra. Oh, and by the way, you have terrible taste in music. And even worse, you insist on constantly playing it whenever I come over. Yeah, because when I'm watching a football game, I'm definitely in the mood to listen to The Cure. Or whatever Euro trash, synth-driven dribble / pedophilic queef anthems your brain mistakenly perceives as good music. Look, we get it. You have a tiny dick. Can I please watch the Jets lose in pace? Woo! Okay, now I want to roast before I get to Ricky, because yes, Ricky, you are special. I'm going to do you last. I do want to mention a few people who aren't here. Lee Satterwhite is not here. Here's my impression of Lee. Learn your lines! I've never seen a vagina before! Phil Crable. Phil, you seem like the kind of guy who has acne on your dick. This is my impression of Phil watching porn on the internet. No, not hot. No, not hot enough. No, not. Fuck it, I'm playing Warcraft. Matt Cranis. Matt, you are the most negative, annoying piece of shit I have ever met in my entire life. I've met people in psych wards who have more positive outlooks than you. Please kill yourself already so you can stop criticizing everything Police Geese does. Your puns suck, your beard is gross, and no one gives a shit about continuity errors in Spider-Man. Okay, and finally, alright, so I I really didn't want to mention Kevin Seafried because he's not here, but last night I was typing these jokes onto my computer in the Max, and what do you know, Kevin's there. And he comes over and says, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I'm typing jokes. And he was like, "Do you need some help?" And he just raped my ear with like the most corny fucking lame ass fucking jokes I've ever heard. So I have one for him. It's Kevin, sometimes I get the feeling that you're talking shit behind my back, but then I remember you have no friends. Just kill yourself already. All right, Ricky. Ricky, when I first met you, I thought you were gay. But then I realized you're just retarded. No, I'm just kidding. I promised I wouldn't make any mental disability jokes about Ricky. So I'm not going to make autism jokes or talk about how weird he is or how he's the least fuckable student at Emerson. No, I'm going to talk about what a raging narcissistic asshole you are. I've never met anyone in my entire life who is filled with such serious self-esteem issues, yet at the same time demands that everyone pays him attention constantly. Ricky, you are literally the only member of Police Geese who complains about not getting enough roles, besides Danielle. And your attendance figures are roughly the same. Ricky, I am here tonight to tell you the world does not revolve around you. It revolves around me. You're so self-obsessed, it's no wonder you're a Republican. And in regards to your various ventures outside of Police Geese, I'd like to read you the Merriam-Webster definition of the word self-indulgent. Self-indulgent, noun. Convincing oneself that people would enjoy watching them reenact an entire Disney movie, word for word, using only hand puppets that look like they were made by a group of dyslexic 4-year-olds. Ricky, if you're wondering why you're not in that many sketches, let me just say that personally, I find it difficult to write more than one sketch that features a character whose intricate dialogue quickly devolves into gibberish about Pokemon bears, and whose saliva creates a bigger splash zone than Shamu. Ricky, you should consider it a blessing we didn't go to high school together, because if we did, right now you would be locked in your mom's basement, applying lipstick to your face, as Telephone Lines by Electric Light Orchestra plays on repeat in the background. Okay. All right. Okay. Are you all right? Okay. That's it. All right. Whatever. All right. So I'm gonna give like a serious speech now because. I just want to say that speaking as someone who went for 2 years to like a really shitty state school. Coming here is just like such an amazing opportunity. And I know this school has its faults, and I know it has, its problems. It has some pretentious people and this and that, but like where and what other college in the country could a roast happen? That's like, that itself is just like unbelievably amazing. And I don't know. Okay, I'd like to just share like 5 pieces of wisdom I want to share with you. Is the first is don't ever give up, because I didn't get into a comedy troupe, and I started this troupe just because I didn't want to sit on the sidelines. And you know what? It was the best decision I've ever made in my entire life, and that's the truth, bro. 2, don't regret the past, because the way I look at it, every decision I've made in look, I'm a 24-year-old senior, okay? All my fucking friends have jobs and wives and kids and are in AARP, all right? But every decision I've made, good or bad, has led up to this moment, and this moment's pretty fucking sweet. So, 3, don't ever think you're better than anyone else. We've all been that awkward guy at the party, standing in the corner alone, and God knows we're only 1 or 2 bad decisions from going back there. So walk up to that guy and reach out your hand and greet him as a friend. Because when you fail to see human beings as 3-dimensional beings, the only person you're selling short is yourself. 4, Never take success for granted. Nothing in this life is given. Enjoy the hard work that goes into getting what you want. And then 5, live. I want to read you, I'll close it out with a quote from Teddy Roosevelt. We're still going to watch Hitler's Greatest Hits on VHS later, right? Okay. And we jerk off that dog, right? Okay. I mean, he did, name 2 things he did wrong. All right. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. I had sex with my dad!